Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at the Star Wars Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary TVC Han Solo figure. So let's get a look at the packaging here. This is already looking really good. We got our 40th Anniversary stamp right there. Star Wars Return of the Jedi Han Solo. Good look at the figure. Excellent image on the card. Card looks really clean. Flip it over here, and then you can see all the rest of the figures in the wave here. Number VC281. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy out of the box and take a look at this figure. Okay, so we have Han out of the box, and right out of the gate, I'm just going to say it now. This is the very best Han Solo figure in the TVC line. No reason to consider getting any other Han but this one. This is the definitive Han Solo in the TVC line. Although this might be the best Han Solo figure in the line, it's not my favorite figure. So let's go ahead and just get into the details. To start, the sculpt. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you guys get a better look. This sculpt is absolutely incredible. They knocked it out of the park with this one. All the details, everything in the vest, in his shirt, his hair, his face. Well, we're going to get back to his face, actually. His pants, everything, his pistol here, or his blaster here, I mean, absolutely knocked it out of the park. With not only the sculpt, but also the paint applications. The paint applications look great. What they're doing here, I mean, look at the pants. It's an absolutely great figure. Now, it does have, a few issues that I want to, outline. For example, let's go with the head here. This I'm torn with this sculpt, because at some angles, like right here, this doesn't look like Harrison Ford to me. This looks like a really good approximation of Harrison Ford, but I'm sorry, that's not Harrison Ford. Now, at some angles, it does look more like him. Like, I think in a profile, it looks maybe, actually, no, not real. Oh, profile, I think, looks pretty good. Yeah, more right there. When you're at an angle, there you go. There's Harrison Ford, but that's not Harrison Ford. There he is. That's not him. And then this, which is more an issue with all TVC figures, is the articulation. The articulation on this guy, it's basic. It's basic TVC articulation. It's difficult. It's stiff. It's hard to navigate. At least for me, it is. If you're good at, posing TVC figures, good on you. But, like, I can't get this guy in a really, dynamic, great. Let me get him off over here. I can't get him in a really good, dynamic pose, especially on camera now under pressure, right? It's hard to get him to stay standing. It's the fact that he doesn't have that ankle pivot. These TVC figures don't really have any kind of ankle pivot. They have this disc hinge, but we really need ankle pivot in these TVC figures, because they are so incredibly hard to stand, and it really limits the articulation on these. But with that said, the TVC figures have always, let me get this guy to just kind of stand up straight for a second. For Star Wars figures to do photography with, to pose, Black Series is probably your better bet. The TVC has better sculpts, in my opinion, but with Black Series, you can just get, better dynamic poses. You can do more with them. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of size comparison here. To start, let's put him next to the Imperial Light Cruiser Luke from the TVC line as well. And as you can see, Han is just a little bit taller than Luke, which, is perfect. Han should be a little bit taller than Luke. And I think it's really cool seeing these two figures standing next to each other, specifically in these two outfits from, Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian, respectively. Luke hit a very similar outfit to this in Return of the Jedi, so again, to see them next to each other in these outfits, it's really cool. But just one thing I wanted to note is these face sculpts. Again, I feel like, hit the camera. I feel like they did a better job with their resemblance to Mark Hamill than they did with Harrison Ford. Again, I can see where they're going for here. He does, in certain angles, look like Harrison, but for the most part, I think they could have done a little bit better on that head sculpt. But at the end of the day, I still like this figure quite a bit. So let's go ahead and move Luke out of here. And now we will compare him to a Remnant Stormtrooper carbonized version right here, looking good. Next to Han. I really like the size between the two, about the same height. So we'll take this guy out of here. And next we'll compare him to a Dark Trooper from The Mandalorian. And he's leaning forward just a little bit, so it might take a little bit of the height off. But as you can see, the Dark Trooper is significantly taller than Han, as expected. So this looks really good. And then let's also compare him to a figure that's a little bit more crouched, just in the pose I have him in, next to the Bad Batch Hunter. And as you can see, like this figure, look what I can do with this figure in comparison to the Han. And you know what makes this figure so damn good to pose? He's got the ankle pivot. He's got that beautiful ankle pivot that Han doesn't have. And Han could get in a lot cooler poses if it wasn't for that ankle pivot. But look at that. He's looking really good next to Han here. And as you can see, you know, Hunter's a bit of a taller TVC figure, but looks really good. And then if we go ahead and do, hit the camera there again. If we go ahead and do one more size comparison, go zoom out for this one. Here he is next to the Imperial Scout Trooper bike. If I can get him to stand up there. And as you can see, he's pretty good size next to him. The speeder bike is quite large in comparison. So look here. So yeah. All right, guys. Overall, I'm thinking this is an incredible figure. You know, it does have its issues. The head sculpt is a little, you know, at some angles it doesn't necessarily look like Harrison Ford, and the articulation can leave a little bit to be desired, specifically that need for the ankle pivot on this figure. But overall, I really enjoy it. I still think it's the best Han Solo in the TVC series ever. And I think you should pick it up if you see it out in the wild, or if you can find it online. I have a good feeling that this guy is going to go for a lot more money in the aftermarket in the months to come. But that'll wrap it up for me. I've had a great time with you guys. Please subscribe and follow me on Instagram at HanJones93. And have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.